The struggle is real. But you like
the worst part is that we're as bad as each other. We're like, oh my God, I don't have any time and I'm redlining cortisol and I haven't had a decent night's sleep in weeks. You know what we should do? We should add things to our plate. Let's do more.
Why not?
Let's do more stuff. Are you already struggling with your mental health? Start doing dance competitions, girl. That'll help.
Are you already struggling with your mental health? Take on more volunteer hours. It's fine.
Yes. It's fine.
Okay. Welcome back, guys. This is Sarah.
And I'm Erika.
And we are a quadrillion% living understaffed this week.
The podcast about not having enough hands or hours and when your best just isn't very good.
I like how you hesitated. You were like, hold on, that's not the script. And
Hold
then your
on.
brain
Rude.
I watched it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't know, my face does not have an inside voice. So anything that's going on in here is like, so if I'm confused, I'm like,
you can tell. Yeah, but it's the same as being like overly happy or like angry, and you're just like, oh, this is yeah.
There was definitely a period of time where I did not know that about myself. And anytime we'd go to the bar, my friend Heaven would be like, was that guy annoying you? And I'd be like, yeah, why? And she's like, your face? I was like, oh.
There's Meg in Kansas City. She she also has RBF for days. And her friend Blair, they learned the fix your face in American Sign Language because they could like look over the shoulder of someone and be like, fix your face, buddy. Like, then take care of
that. So I'm just like,
yeah, exactly. Yes. Oh God. Awful. Well, didn't you say that you had like announcements or something before we got started? Was that you?
Oh, yes. Very exciting announcements. We fuck. We are fuck. Woo! Okay. Before I get started on the announcements, this is our second week being a weekly podcast, which is super exciting.
Thank you so much for being here.
We love it. If you're like, oh man, I wish I had their beautiful angelic voices in my ears every week instead of every other week, you're welcome. We're also going to have merch. So since the holidays and Christmas is coming up, what better to get your
merch
weirdly conservative uncle other than like your feminist podcast friends, and he can wear it and won't know. So that'll be our gift to you. So, and as a reminder, this book is Hopeless by Elsie Silver. We're really excited about it. In case you don't know, it's available on Kindle Unlimited. Indie author. We're super stoked. We both love it so far. Discord. Also, and when you're reading the book and you're like, wow, I want to talk to all of my podcast besties about how great this book is, we have a Discord where you can come and talk about it, and we can talk with you and you can talk to each other, and we can create this amazing community around books and feminism that we have always dreamed of.
Yes. So check out check out our link tree that will have the link to Discord. And then inside of that, we'll have all of the book information, where you can get merch, all of that happy jazz. Because seriously, I feel like we say it every week at this point, and every time you and I talk like business on the side, I'm so grateful that we have this outlet because I love being here. This is like one of my absolute all-time favorite hobbies, and my life has changed since joining the pod world. So thank you. And you're welcome.
And you're welcome.
Yeah. So Erika, how have things been understaffed for you this week? Do tell.
Not necessarily super understaffed, but I did accidentally dye my hair purple. Let me explain to you how this happens. I know. So I dyed my hair red for a long time, probably for the last like 3 years maybe, which I love. Love having like Ariel red hair. And then I think maybe like 4 months ago, I was feeling kind of unhinged and I was like, you know what, I'll dye my hair black. And then I chickened out and I mixed it with red. So it was like a dark
auburn
cherry cola
It was
color.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really liked it. And then I did it again, except I had to mix colors and it turned out like less red and more like really dark brown. And I'm like, this is boring. And my friend today or yesterday, she was like, "Oh, I want to dye my hair silver." And I was like, "Excellent. I also have to dye my hair. I will dye your hair for you. This will be great." And she's like, "Okay." So we ran out of hair dye when we were dyeing her hair. So I had to go to Sally's. And while I was there, I was like, why don't I dye my hair kind of more of a fuchsia color?
Be so cute.
Right? And then I mix it, and I mixed it with more red, the red that I normally dye my hair, because I'm like, I don't want it to be like too fuchsia-y.
Technical term.
Mix it together, and it is dark purple. Allison was like, she's like, Erika, that looks purple. I was like, send it. We're doing this.
It's too late now, bitches. There is no turning back.
No. And then I'm driving back. I completely forgot that I had a therapy appointment at 2:00. So it's like 2:10. My therapist calls me and she's like, "Hey, Erika." And I was like, "Hi." Keep in mind, I still have hair dye in my hair. I am driving home because she had to go pick up her kids and I was like, "Oh, I have to record later, so I'm just going to go home, shower, do all my stuff." And then yeah. So and she's like, "Oh, we'll just push it to like 20 minutes. Get on. It'll be fine." And I was like, good. And then because she's my therapist, who's amazing, she's great. However, every single week she hurts my feelings by telling me things that are correct. For doing her job exactly the way she should be doing it.
My first therapist in Germany, she was amazing, and I was very intimidated by her. She's feminist and amazing and like very, very smart, like very, very smart. And I still have raw emotions and raw memories of her hurting my feelings on a regular basis, and it was everything that I needed to hear. So the number of times that I would go home and like bawl my eyes out and be like, I just wanted you to listen to me. She was listening, but she told me what I needed to hear. Damn it.
Yeah, that's the worst part. It's like a good therapist isn't going to tell you what you want to hear, and they're not going to tell you something that is going to make a decision easier or to make your life easier. They're going to tell you what you need to process or like a different way to looking at a situation so you can like realize what,
Yeah. And the worst realization is that they're also not going to make things harder for you. They're just going to give you the tools and the stepping stones to get you where you need to be. And it's like, I also just don't like that. I just want to fix it.
No.
and get it over with. Like, whatever it is, you know?
I also very much am the type of person where I'm like, ooh, I don't want to process that. I don't want to talk about my childhood trauma.
Yeah, no.
Tell me why I'm so bad at making decisions in the morning. And she's like, oh no, you don't understand. They're all connected. And I'm like, no, I don't like this.
No,
I don't want to talk about any of that. I don't want to do anything hard. I just want you to tell me exactly what I need to do. Give me a specific list of instructions to make my life easier. And unfortunately for me, that doesn't exist.
You're still late to work every day. I don't think even if you had the tools, would you not show up to work late? I think that's
it's just part of my brand. That's really.
You're like, it's part of my lore. Thank you so much.
It's part of my lore. You know those like when you like pick your like character or whatever in a game and it has like your attributes? Erika, always late, will never be on time, but is hilarious.
Yep.
But also will work through her lunch and on Saturdays.
Yeah. And like, I will also be fiercely loyal and I will do my job to my own detriment. So just give me the 15 minutes in the morning. And that's the thing too, is was that this job? There was one job. It was this job, the one that I have now. The first 6 months that I worked there, I was to work on time, not a big deal. But there was a solid 2 weeks that I was showing up 15, 20 minutes late to work. And that is not me. I just could not get out of bed or I couldn't get ready on time. There was just, and I lived on post. I lived less than 8 minutes from my office. There's no way I should have been 20 minutes late. And I kid you not, 2 weeks straight. My supervisor, she's retired now, and I still have lunch with her every now and then. But she sat me down an afternoon. She was leaving at 2:30 or 3 o'clock for the day. And she came around the corner, and I use a standing desk primarily. I don't have an office desk or whatever because I can't stand it. So she stands kind of at my booth or whatever, and she puts her arm down there and she goes, "So, Monday." And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "You're going to set multiple alarms to be here on time. Multiple, Sarah." And I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." Oh God, I'm sorry. Oh shit. And since that day, I've realized that the morning time is my meditation time. So I'm an hour early to work every day because I get 30 minutes with no students, no staff. And I just, all right, this is what I needed because I do work through my lunch almost every single day and I stay late a few times a week. Yeah.
Yeah. And I need to start doing that because I don't have to be to work really early in the morning. I can pretty much pick my own schedule. I mean, within reason, obviously. But I used to run every morning and I stopped doing that. I used to really prioritize my physical health. And I really haven't been doing that a lot lately.
Okay, rewind
I don't remember if I said this on earlier.
Give yourself some fucking grace because you've been going on morning walks a lot more than you were 3 months ago. So don't be a fucking asshole to yourself. It might not be running, but you're still getting out in the morning. Shut the hell up.
Yeah, that's true. I want to go for longer walks. I want to go for more longer walks.
Fair. Okay.
And I need to get in the habit of getting up in the morning because having that 10 minutes where I'm not doing anything except walking, I'm not where are my glasses? Where are my keys? Where am I? All of that stuff. I have it together. I'm just trying to do that. I'm trying to work on my self-discipline, showing up for myself.
Yeah.
Which is not easy for everyone else in my life. Don't look at me like that. You're just as bad as I am.
No, first of all. Whoa. It's funny too because we were talking before the show and she said a couple of things that she talked to about with her therapist, and then I made a comment about like, so I've been through, like a similar emotional situation. And she goes, that's exactly what my therapist said. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'm right. Like, smug bitch. God. So, anyway, yeah.
Welcome to Camp Cringe, streaming on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
The school bus arrives at Camp Sawiki Wiki for its annual summer camp.
What the hell is your problem, lady? Do you need something, or are you just trying to ruin my vibe?
My name is Tony. Are you hurt?
You kids shouldn't be out here playing with fire.
Does anyone else see that creepy lady following Nevea? Or is it just me?
Yo, what is that noise?
Remember, God is watching.
Welcome to Camp Cringe, man. We're so screwed.
New episodes every 25th of the month.
So understaffed, Jesus. Emotionally understaffed. My mother has been, she was diagnosed with cancer in January. It was stage 4. And for those of you that know me, and for those of you that have kind of joined in the adventure since we've started this podcast, I don't get along with her. She's not at all my favorite person. And so in having to try to be a better person, I've chosen to stay in contact, and I've chosen to, kind of open that door to a mother-daughter relationship. And it is not at all a traditional mother-daughter relationship that one would hope for. So this week, she was supposed to have a procedure to get this pump removed from her body because she has these it's hard to explain too. She has like these pockets of some kind of fluid that is like growing inside of her body, and doctors can't like figure out why. And the fluid itself does have infection in it. And so they can't do chemo because essentially chemo is a shitload of steroids. And so they don't want to make the infections worse by putting her through chemo. And I think this week they're supposed to be, or next week they're supposed to be finding out if radiation would do the same thing. I talked to my brother the next day and I was like, hey, I haven't talked to mom in like a week. How are things? And he's like, oh, she's really not doing good. And I was like, okay, like what the hell? So I called her and she told me all of that. And I was like, what the hell? But talking to her on the phone, and because, I'm 10 hours away, I can't physically see her. She sounds like she has quite a bit of energy. And so when she's going through chemo and she's on all these steroids, she has a ton of energy because she's on all these steroids, right? But now she's not on the steroids and she's recently recovered from dying. And so she sounds good on the phone. So it kind of messes with my head a little bit. In addition to that, my childhood home neighborhood is hillbilly America. My childhood home is 20 miles outside of town, maybe 15 miles outside of town, and it's in the middle of nowhere, Iowa, and I hated it as a kid. I love it now as an adult because it's very isolated. It's lovely. It's farm town, like it's beautiful. It's down in a valley. It's gorgeous. The next door neighbors, my dad was best friends with the next door neighbor's son. The next door neighbor is this fierce farm woman named Marianne who has been on this farm since like 1927. Like she's incredible. Their family protected me and the siblings a lot when mom had her, we'll call them moments. So I got a call this last week that Marianne is in hospice. And she and I share the same birthday. Like, so every year we would have a joint birthday, and she's 80 years older than me, you know, and like she's I don't think she's maybe 80 years older, but she's quite a bit older. She's always been like a grandmother figure. And so I've called and talked to them a couple of different times just to see how she's doing, and her liver's failing and her kidneys are failing, and like there's all these things. And I still, like, the very first memory that popped up was after moving to Germany, because I always call her on our birthday, because I live in whatever city, whatever state, whatever country. Like, I am always the one to call her because she never knows if I change my phone number or whatever. And so I called her from Germany, and she's like, "Oh, where in the world are you now?" And I said, "Germany." And she immediately started screaming into the phone receiver so that I could hear her better. And like, she's just a sweet lady. So I'm on like an emotionally understaffed level. There's a lot going on back home, and like I don't want to jump the gun and take time off and go home. But I also want to, like, especially for my neighbor lady, like I want to go see her while she's still lucid. So, but then it comes down to money, then it comes down to budget, then it comes down to we have a lot going on at work. Like, can I afford to take it off? Like, so that's been kind of overwhelming. And then I had another really great date with that same guy, and like, so there's a balance, hopefully, that we can kind of manage, but like work is keeping me distracted enough, and so I'm grateful for that. And then on the emotional side, I'm kind of like teetering on, I don't know if I'm gonna fall off the good edge or the bad edge, so I'm here, I'm surviving and taking it day by day, because that's what we're supposed to do, because if I tried to do more than that, I don't think I would handle it well. Yeah.
Cheers.
I love you. Yeah. So slightly understaffed. Not the usual.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yes. This week our topic is book boyfriends, because
yes.
I know. I was thinking about it because partially because I'm in a book club. We both love to read, all of that stuff. You get like a really good male main character. Mine, for reference, is Caden Woad from Desires After Dusk by Chrisley Cole. It came out like 10 years ago. Her Immortals After Dark series, I'm such a stan. I really am. It was my that was the first like series that I really got into. And I want to say I was only maybe like 20 when I started reading it. And that book, I loved it. And they're not like, I've definitely read books that are, I don't want to say better, but like invoked more of like an emotion in me, or like I think about the characters more or whatever. But the whole series is great. And this one specifically is great. So highly recommend. He's like, so in this universe, there's like, they're called immortals. So there's like demons and Valkyrie and witches and all of that stuff, right? And there's a lot of like fated mates. And that's what this situation is. But what I love about all the characters is that throughout the court, like most of them are like enemies to lovers, but the guy, the male main character on the other side, is like, he might be like pursuing and like maybe like pushy or like very like assertive, but he actually is like head over heels in love with the female main character and just wants to like worship her. And I love that so much. And this one is more like that than the rest of them. Like, he just like head over heels loves everything about her. And I love that. I love it so much. I've read the book like 3 times.
Excuse me while I add it to my TBR.
Oh, girl, it's so good.
That's awesome.
And also he's like 7 feet tall. So,
Oh my
and like
God.
super built. Because why not?
Stop. Mine. So I think we've talked about it before. I think I've brought it up on an episode before. Mine is absolutely Rafe from the McCade Brothers series by Nora Roberts, because he's like that tall, dark, broody, all four boys in this family have the hand, like the classic good looks, and they all have their different talents. And like the youngest, I think, he takes over the family farm, and then one of them is the sheriff, and the other one is like a lawyer that works in the city. And then Rafe was the one that just like up and left, like, see you later, right? And it's he comes back. Like, part of his book is that he comes back and he meets the girl who runs the new antique store in town, and it's a small farm town. It's nothing crazy, but like he just knows that they're going to end up together. And and she is like defiant, feminist, delicious, stands up for herself, ready. So one of the characters in the book is abused by her husband, and the spouse, and then the antique store owner, she is like her really good friend. And so, she literally like takes in this lady and her 2 kids after one terrible night, and she takes a baseball bat to the husband. Like, she is fierce. And so for him it's like he knows that he's going to be with her, and she just pushes him away half the time. She's just like, I can't, this is not going to happen. You can fuck off. Like, I detest you. I despise you. And he's like, that's cute. And it's like, shut up. Like, God, it's so good. So that's like, that has been, oh my God. I think I first read that in high school, maybe. And I just reread it again. Like, I used to read it like every Christmas or whatever to just kind of give myself a boost. And then I hadn't read it maybe since like the first or second year that I got married. So I just read it again like a couple of months ago, and it's still just as good. And Nora Roberts is classic. She's wonderful. But it's still just as good. So I highly recommend that. And of course, guys, the books that we talk about today on this show, like, we will put them all in the show notes, because we can't help ourselves, because reading is a huge part of our understaffed life. So, why not add the Understaffed Book Club to our list of things to do this month? Why not? That's fine.
Why not? If we don't laugh, we'll cry.
100%. We will absolutely cry.
I did some, like, I was oh my God. I was reading about book boyfriends online, because I'm like, we can't be the only people like this. And I was on Reddit, as one does.
Duh.
And this woman said, I'm a simple woman, just want my MMCs to be sweet in the streets and a freak in the sheets. And I was like,
100%. Thank you, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
You are correct. But also, we all have things that we like in books, but in real life would be like, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I mean, I think sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
For me, it's actually, no, you go.
I was gonna say,
I was just thinking about how it's gonna flow in my head, so I'm like, no,
it's not working. I was gonna say, like, we all have, especially post like 2005, we all have the Mr. Darcy love of our lives. Mr. Darcy, Pride and Prejudice, Matthew McFadden. Thank you. Like, thank you. Like, I absolutely love me some Pride and Prejudice. So I actually, part of it is I pulled up some of like the good quotes from Mr. Darcy, and some of them, I mean, we all know, like that whole like hot and cold between the two of them is just like some of the most incredible writing. And so this one, it's said by Mr. Darcy, and the concept, like this particular website does like the concept of what the quote is from. The concept is pleasing others. And the quote says, "You showed me how insufficient were all my pretensions to please a woman worthy of being pleased." And I was like, ugh. Jane Austen is just top notch with her writing. Let's get real.
Yeah.
So if anyone on this planet does not have a book boyfriend, I guarantee there will be something about Mr. Darcy that you would enjoy. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it because it's delicious.
Yes. Like, if Jane Austen does anything right, it's showing that for literally hundreds of years, all women want is for a man to say, "I'm sorry, you're right." That's literally it. It's literally all we need. Not hard.
Not fucking wrong. God, not wrong.
God. Yeah. But yeah, can we, for the movie, specifically the hand scene?
Stop.
It's
so good. It's so good. Or like when they're out on the terrace and they're arguing, you know, and he's just like, "Because I love you." Like he just blurts it, and then Keira Knightley's like, "Oh fuck." That I have goosebumps just saying it out loud. And that's a movie. Like, come on. That Pride and Prejudice is just my that right there, I will say, is like a Christmas time comfort book for me. I fucking love that book. So Jane Austen is just amen.
Chef's kiss. But yeah, like there are things. So Mr. Darcy, fiction or real life, I'm like, absolutely.
Hands down.
I also have read this. There are a lot of like dark romance, so I'm probably not the only one, but I read a lot of Regency romance, and I guarantee you that's what this is from. In a book, if a guy is like, you know, like, "You can't go do this dangerous thing, I'm not going to let you." If I'm reading it, I'm like,
yeah, like, oh,
this
that's so
for her.
cute. In real
Wow,
life.
he wants her. Absolutely not. No.
In real life, it would make
I would leave in the middle of the night. I would never talk to you again.
Or no. I would like send letters. I would be like, "Oh, so I did this thing that you told me you weren't going to allow me to do, and also fuck off."
Yeah. Yeah. How dare you presume? Or like, if, you know, he sort of dictates to her, like, "Oh, you have time for me. Like, you should come see me later. Like, you're going to come see me after." In a book, I'm like, that's hot. In real life, I'm like, I'm going home and I'm going to bed.
Yes.
Who do you think you are?
Yes. Or like, this happened, oh God, 2-3 months ago, that it was like, you know, I told the person that I had like coffee with them in the morning, right? Just to like meet for the first time or whatever. And then I said that I had like dinner plans, and he was like, "Oh, well then you'll be home by this time, so you still have time to come see me." And it's like, or I don't. But in a book, that would be kind of hot. In real life, I'm like, no.
No.
Now on the flip side of that, right? I have also dated someone who was kind of a dom, and that relationship, that trust, that consent, super hot. He probably could have told me to do anything and I would have done it. But there was that like conversation had, right? You can't just jump into that 9 times out of 10.
Yes. If you have a pre-agreed upon dynamic, that's totally different.
Yes.
But you can't just like walk up and be like, I'm your man. No.
Another one I think too would be like on a monetary level. Like we've all read those books that it's like the guys like taking them off on a jet plane or a helicopter and like taking them somewhere and they pay for everything.
Yeah.
And then but in real life I'm like, I also fucking work for a living. Like it's nice to be doted on, and it's nice that like that person wants to do things, but like maybe I don't make the same amount of money, or maybe I make more, maybe I make less. But there are still like, how do I say that? Like, I probably sound pretentious. There are still free things to do out there that are super fucking fun, or silly things like going bowling. That's super fun.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be some wild, extravagant bonanza just for me to like a person.
Yeah, I am definitely a effort over money person.
Yes.
Effort and money are two different things. If you want to take me out to dinner, fine. I will like I would like that. I am not expecting you to do that. If we go for a hike, I mean, not a super secluded one because I'm not an idiot, but you know, or like you said, like go bowling
what's awful is the number of times I've done that. And in my head, I'm like, it's totally fine. I know the hike better than they do. And then I'm like, oh, Sarah. Oops.
Dummy.
My bad. This is why I still have my location shared with you and my sister. Because what if? And then if I go on a date, you guys, all right. We're also going to throw this out there because we are on like the feminist side of things, and we are women, and like Erika used to be in the dating world. I'm in the dating world. This is your safety is what fucking matters. So it doesn't matter if you've been on a date with this person 6 times, still share your location and be like, hey, I'm going here with so-and-so at this time. Still do that. I don't give a shit if you've known this person forever or you've known them for 10 minutes. Do it anyway. Protect yourself.
If nothing else, I used to do this all the time. I would text my friends and be like, hey, can you call me in like 10 minutes with car trouble? I don't want to be here anymore. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. And guys or women can say whatever they want about that. Like, is it kind of shitty to like lie to somebody to get out of a date? Yes.
Yes.
I would also argue that if you don't know him very well,
you don't know how they're going to react.
It can be a problem.
Yeah.
And there are enough men that will physically hurt you for rejecting them. You don't know that.
Yep. And there's enough evidence on this entire fucking planet to prove that something violent happening is likely to happen. The percentages are kind of high, which is the shitty thing.
Yeah.
You know that whole like man versus bear conversation? We choose the bear. God damn it. So
the bear is safe.
Yes. So I will get off of my high horse on this one, but safety is the main thing. Like it's not that, and we've said it not just in dating, but in general. Sending a text message takes 7 seconds. Just do it. And or like Erika and I have our location shared on Snapchat because I can see. And we also figured out that Snapchat's fucking creepy, that it also shows me what her phone battery is at. So if I know that she's going to go hiking somewhere, even if it's with her husband or with her friends, hey, bitch, your phone battery's at 10%. Do you have an external charger? I don't like this, you know? And she's with people that she trusts. Like, come on. Mm-hmm. So anyway, Snapchat's creepy. We should probably do an episode on that at some point. And for those of you that have your fucking live location on all the time, please stop. That's terrible. You're just...
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Do not. Yeah. you have to be careful, and it's enough to, like, we live in a society that has shown us enough times that it is practical to assume the worst, or at least very bad, because it is likely enough to happen.
Yes.
So,
and
before anyone comes at us and is like, not all men, you're right.
You're
but
right. Not all men. And I will say that, like, now being in the dating world for a couple of years, I also will just flat out tell the person, oh, so I told X, Y, and Z that I'm coming to this restaurant with you, and they have your name and phone number, just so you know. Because if they get super uncomfortable with it in that first 3 minutes of being in the same space, not for me. Like, okay, you're uncomfortable. I'm just gonna go then, because no.
Yeah, that's genius.
I know.
That's genius. Because it's not even, because at that point it's like, you're uncomfortable that I told my friend that I'm here with you.
Yes.
Yikes.
Or like being transparent that I have my location shared and I've communicated with this person that I'm going somewhere to meet someone that I don't know. So thanks.
Yeah. Or this would happen a lot, like, and maybe this is a double standard, but when I was like dating someone, if I didn't know them super there and they're like, oh, let's go back to your place, and I'm like, no. And they're like, why? I'm like, because I don't want you to know where I live.
Oh no.
Like,
absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, and it would always be this like, oh, well, you can know where I live. I'm like, yes, but
and here's the shitty
I know
thing.
it's a double standard.
It's a double standard,
but the statistics will back me up.
The statistics will back you up on that. Shitty thing is I was also married and going through my divorce, and he was stalking me, and he was my person. So
Ew. I hate that for you.
Well, I don't anymore. He's not part of the picture, so could be worse.
That's true. I hate it for you that you had to do it.
Well,
and
moving on.
And now more hotter than ever.
I also, looking at, because we've had Meg Becker on the show, she has a couple of books that are like top. So if we're talking about book boyfriends, she came out with Tasting Sin a couple of months ago, and that Ronan is like, he's part of the mob. We're not going to talk about it, because in the book, him being a mobster and being this like super dangerous person, delicious. In real life, I would run away. I would be like, sir, no.
Yes.
Sir, no.
Yes.
So if
same. There's a whole series. Sophie Lark has a whole series, and they're all like in the mob, various mobs in Chicago, and I don't know if they are quite classified as dark romance, but the male main characters for sure are in the mob. They beat the shit out of people. They commit felonies. Do I love every single one of them that I've read? I'm like, ugh.
Yes.
Do I want to date a murderer in real life? No.
Fuck no. Let me think. The other book by Meg that I do want to throw out there is With a Broken Wing. No, not With a Broken Wing. It's the third one. Hold on. So it's part of her Butterflies series. And it is, where the hell is it? In this series, you fuck. Haha. Spreading Her Wings from the Butterfly series. It's book 3. Also on Kindle Unlimited, also delicious. It's Katie and Austin. And Austin is the best friend's twin brother. And so, you know, there's like that whole forbidden love type of thing. And Austin's like this, I think he's ginger and he's like gruff and wears a lot of plaid and he's like, you know, angry at the world and like he's delicious. And then on the flip side, I may or may not really like that book because she dedicated it to me. Maybe. But it's yeah, Katie and Austin are like one of my favorites. The other one, where the hell? I pulled up some quotes. Oh. Okay, hold on. Do you want to give any other book boyfriends? Because I pulled up the best steamy quotes from heavy romance. So I just wanted to say a few.
Yeah, say it. Go for it.
Okay. So, of course, Reddit, because Reddit is Reddit and we love Reddit. I pulled up, quote, best steamy line from a hero. And there's some good ones. Main male character says, "You know I love you, don't you?" And she says, "Yes." He says, "Good, because I'm going to fuck you like I don't." And I was like, oh my God. Oh, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
Jesus.
Ooh.
And then of course the person says, "I mean, good girl in all forms, obviously, but this one really gets me." "That's right," he's murmuring. "You're so good. You're doing so good. You're gonna come so hard." And I'm just like, shut up right now.
Oh.
Ugh.
Whew.
And then, this thing.
I have one that is not steamy, but it's one that whenever somebody asks me what my favorite line in any book is, it is in The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed, who Ava Reed is an amazing author. And the book was really good, really well written for a lot of reasons. But one of my favorite line in almost any book I've ever read, and I still remember it, it's the two main characters. And she says, "Would you let me strike you dead?" And he says, I should let you strike me dead for wanting you the way that I do."
Oh.
I
Stop.
Oh, it was so good. That whole their whole relationship through that book is so good.
That's wow. We all know who Margaret Atwood is. She's wonderful. There's a website that I found that has like the best sex quotes from books. And this one, it just says welcome to a 6-word short story from Margaret Atwood. And it says, "Longed for him, got him, shit." I lost it. I was like, okay, love that. And then, where's the other one? I wanted to do some classics too, because we read some pretty heavy erotica and dark romance stuff. So I wanted to read some classics. Oh, here. This is F. Scott Fitzgerald. "Things are sweeter when they're lost. I know, because Things are sweeter when they're lost. I know, because once I wanted something and got it. It was the only thing I ever wanted badly. And when I got it, it turned to dust in my hand." And I'm like, shut up. Like,
I love F. Scott Fitzgerald
so much. Sylvia Plath, because we've all read Sylvia Plath at one point or another. "What have I eaten? Lies and smiles." Oh, so now we're hurting feelings again today. Okay. And then from The Princess Bride, because we all love The Princess Bride. And if you don't, you're lying. And if you haven't seen it, you're dumb. My opinion.
Correct. Correct.
There is no room in my body for anything but you. My arms love you. My ears adore you. My knees shake with blind affection. And that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And you're welcome.
Yes. Oh, The Princess Bride is such a good book and movie.
The book is
I read the
incredible.
book.
And thank God you've watched the movie because
Yeah.
you yourself have been cinema deprived in your lifetime.
I
so I'm very
Yeah.
grateful that you've seen The Princess Bride.
Yes. I mean, at this point, I also kind of do it to myself because as an adult, people are like, have you seen these movies? And I'm like, no. I'm 34. I've had ample time to watch said movies, but will I watch that David Attenborough ocean documentary that I've seen 15 times over again?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Or will I watch River Monsters with Jeremy Wade from start to finish? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I shouldn't, I mean,
Forgot
I will watch that because I love me some background noise, but I do watch quite a bit of shows and movies because I'm always doing something else at the same time, you know? And like multitasking, as we all know, is not necessarily good for your productivity. I can't live my life any other way. What do they call it? Neurodivergent. Like I'm not diagnosed with ADD or ADHD, but like the neurodivergence is there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I can't concentrate on one thing. There are some things like if I'm dancing, I can just do dance. I can do that just that's the only thing. But it requires my brain and my body at the same time, and I think that's why I can do it.
That's more of a physical
Also,
activity.
Algebra. Yes.
You talked about this.
I don't Yes, I was like, I think I talked about this on the pod before, but yeah, I used to like if I was really anxious, I would like do algebra problems.
You know what? You did talk about this on one of our Lost episodes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The fact that I've been doing this and at no point someone was like, girl.
Excuse me.
You good on you.
Kindly
Love this for you.
fuck off. I have a process.
Maybe you should check your brain checked out because that's not normal.
Oh God. I mean, I know exactly what I'm getting you for Christmas now. Like 1,000%. I'm just gonna get you one of those algebraic like workbooks that you would get in like high school.
The thing is that I like until you start putting fractions in there, like I will solve for X all day. I don't want so like much. When you I can do it. I can do it with fractions. I can do it. I just don't like to. It's too hard at that point. But yeah, if you
easy.
I love math. Cuz I'm weird. I do genuinely love math though.
Same. My mom is a registered mathematician. So I grew up doing like I grew up doing like long division and shit and I'm good at it. I don't I was in advanced algebra in high school and I was doing that at like a 10th grade level and my teacher would be like, that's not how we do it. And I would go home, I would talk to my mom about it and be like, I'm getting the same answer that he's getting, but I'm getting the work, marked wrong because I'm not doing it the way he's doing it. And she's like, well, yeah, he's doing it the long way. He's showing you the actual like step by step by step by step, but your brain is skipping the in-between steps because you're doing the math in your head already. So she had to break it down for me and helped me pass that fucking class in 10th grade. Probably the only nicest thing she's ever done for me. But like
facts.
Yeah, math is like I'm a very strong math person, but like the way that they're teaching math now is wildly different from what I remember and I like get sad about it because I'm like I don't know how to do the math that you're saying. I'll get the right answer, but the way that you're supposed to do it is not my way.
I learned, and I'm sorry.
I'm the new boomer generation. How dare you?
Oh, for real. Sometimes I catch myself, and I'm like, oh, ugh.
Speaking of catching yourself, are you still doing this at work?
Yes, I caught myself doing it on Friday.
Oh no!
I'm like, damn it. Oh.
You're gonna have to make a little sign on your computer, like, please don't. Can you not?
If I'm making the duck face, I know, leave me alone.
Oh my God. I'm sorry to make fun of you, but goddamn, that's hilarious. Like, and the fact that you realized you were doing it too, because you were doing it for how long up until the point that you noticed it. That's what's funny to me, because I'm like, how many people at work have already noticed it about you, and then you noticed it about you?
Yeah, enough for it to be embarrassing.
Oh my God.
But it is funny. It's also funny. That's the thing. That's why I said it on the podcast, because you gotta
laugh or you'll cry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
welcome to our talk. Do we want to do the outro now? I think we're good. That's it for us, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to like us on all of the socials, comment, send it to someone that you think will like it. Remember that we have merch coming. It's going to be great. You're welcome. And we have our Discord server where we can talk with you guys and interact with you guys. That I'm so excited for that. I'm so excited for that. And we have our book club so we can all read together, which I'm also super excited for. And we love you so much. Thank you so much. Without you, we would be potting the
But hell yeah. Yeah, finger guns.